You're watching KEVN Black Hills Fox.
Printer ink can be an expensive purchase, but it doesn't have to be. In today's Consumer Reports, alternatives to cartridges that might just save money. Plus, we'll introduce you to a family-owned restaurant, locally famous for their caramel rolls. And we'll show you what goes into their food that makes it taste so good, and how family brings it all together. That's in today's Black Hills Backstory. So join us. Good Morning Black Hills starts now.
From KOTA Territory News, this is Good Morning Black Hills.
Good morning, Black Hills. Thanks for starting your day with us. I'm Sunday Miller, in for Blake Joseph. Starting our show off in one Southern Hills town, the Hot Springs community is looking to beautify part of its downtown river site. City officials say the cattails have dominated the river for some time and have put together a plan to open the river and make it a recreational area. Mayor Bob Nelson of Hot Springs says he hopes the project brings more people downtown.
Working with our city administrator, our city engineer, some other folks coming up with a plan to revitalize the river, get the cattails out of there, and get it back to a point where we can actually utilize the river. People can get down in and walk along it, they can wade in it, they can actually enjoy the river.
Nelson says the plan is to renovate a section of the river every year. And speaking of the city of Hot Springs, they're planning to demolish a historic sandstone building along State Highway 385. This comes as construction projects in the area begin to take off, with fears that the building may not be stable enough for those projects. Our Nick Nelson has more.
For the past 127 years, the Wesh Oak Building has stood on Hot Springs River Street, one of the town's historic sandstone buildings. Now the city is saying the building must come down. City Administrator John Gregory says the now abandoned building has become a public safety concern.
We did not come to this decision lightly. We had a lot of conversations with a lot of different people and stakeholders in town and with the South Dakota Historic Preservation people. And this was the only option that remained for us and to get this done and get the public safe again.
With other construction projects in Hot Springs, the building poses a different threat. The State Department of Transportation says the building might not survive as nearby Highway 385 gets worked on. Rich Zocker is the DOT's Custer area engineer. He says the project, which is slated to begin in the fall, wouldn't be able to go forward because of the condition of the Wesh Oak building.
But the DOT isn't willing to take the risk of construction vibration next to a condemned building. We've asked that the building become insurable. Whether that means restored or taken down is entirely up to the city.
No matter what happens with the building, Hot Springs doesn't want to lose the history. Gregory says the city hopes to either save the west facade or preserve some of the sandstone from the building to use elsewhere. In Hot Springs, Nick Nelson, Black Hills Fox News.
Thank you, Nick. Although many industries slowed down due to the COVID-19 pandemic, construction in Rapid City was not one of them. The city issued the second highest number of permits ever last year, and 2021 is already off to a good start. This week, city officials announced a $14.7 million permit for construction of a 4-story building on St. Joseph Street. This was bought by a construction company in Sioux Falls, and construction is set to begin immediately. The location was previously home to the old Imperial Hotel, as well as other businesses. The city looks forward to seeing growth and revitalization of the area with this new project.
Over the last decade, the hotel closed. It became kind of an area for lower income or apartment type housing, and the restaurants kind of came and went. So the end result was in late 2015, that area sold, and we're coming up on the 5th anniversary of when that area was leveled. And so it's been pretty much a vacant lot for the last 5 years.
The building, which will be named The Element, will combine 3 floors of apartments, 1 floor of office retail space, and an underground parking garage. Now, still ahead this morning, looking for alternatives to those expensive ink cartridges, maybe some tips on how to use less ink? Consumer Reports has you covered, so stay tuned. Welcome back at 7:08. We have your Consumer Report coming up, but first we have some good news to start your morning.
That's right. A nurse from Michigan is making history all because of her beautiful voice. Lori Key, a nurse at St. Mercy Mary, went viral after video surfaced of her singing Amazing Grace. Another nurse asked her to sing the song last April. Key's voice went viral, giving hope to hospital workers and patients at her hospital across the country. The video of her recently got the attention of the Biden administration, in fact, who asked the 29-year-old to perform Amazing Grace at the COVID-19 memorial in D.C. The Lincoln Memorial lit up behind her as she performed, standing just 6 feet away from President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris.
And you know, I saw this swirling on social media, and her voice truly is beautiful. You can hear it now.
Yeah, absolutely wonderful. Nothing more soothing than a beautiful voice in many circumstances.
And there's so many people you never expect that just have that hidden in there.
That's right.
And shifting gears here, a drive-through dinosaur exhibit has crowds roaring for more in California. Visitors are flocking to the Jurassic Quest exhibition, which opened Friday at the famed Rose Bowl. 70 life-size models of dinosaurs are on display.
Now, the exhibition began as an indoor event in Texas. About 300,000 vehicles have driven through the exhibition since it opened at the end of July. The dinosaurs are headed to the West Coast and possibly to Canada.
As long as they don't make their way here.
Right.
But that is great to see. We have our dinosaur park, but that is amazing to see that there. Wow,
right.
Look at that. Ooh, he's blinking. And finally, grab your fondue set, Eric. Order a cheese pizza with a side of mac and cheese, because today is National Cheese Lovers Day. And we don't quite know how making cheese all started, but the earliest record of the gooey goodness dates back to 5,500 BCE. Cheese has a special place in Americans' hearts and diets like ours.
That's a very long time ago, 5,500 BCE.
Yeah.
This is just one of 18 other cheese-specific days honoring cheese in some form or fashion. There's National String Cheese Day in September, National Grilled Cheese Sandwich Day, one of my favorites, in April, and National Cheesecake Day in July.
18.
Nothing better than a fabulous artisan cheese.
Yes, it makes me laugh. 18 different cheese-related days. I'm not surprised to hear that.
We love our cheese.
We
That's
do.
right.
We absolutely do. And still to come, MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell under fire after continuing to claim voter fraud occurred in last year's election. That story's next.
Here's today's community calendar, a listing of upcoming local events from KEVN Black Hills Fox. To get your event listed, mail it to 2001 Skyline Drive in Rapid City or email events@blackhillsfox.com at least 2 weeks in advance.
Welcome back to Good Morning Black Hills. A number of companies will not be selling MyPillows anymore, as CEO Mike Lindell continues to claim there was voter fraud in the 2020 election, even though there's no proof of it, and after the deadly assault on the U.S. Capitol. Since then, there have been calls on social media for retailers to stop carrying his products, and a number of stores took note, including Bed Bath & Beyond and Kohl's. Lindell responded saying they're, quote, trying to cancel me out. Dominion Voting Systems is also taking aim at Lindell, saying a lawsuit is imminent over his false claims that the company's machines allowed widespread voter fraud in the November election. And in other news, Microsoft has joined in a $2 billion investment in self-driving car company Cruise. It was founded in 2013. Cruise is mostly owned by GM. Cruise and Microsoft say the investment put Cruise's total value at $30 billion. Microsoft joins Honda, which is already a major investor and partner in Cruise, and various institutional investors in the new $2 billion equity investment. Cruise and GM say they will use Microsoft's cloud computing platform to help develop vehicles and services. And tech giant HP recently dropped a plan to charge customers for printer ink after initially promising free ink for life to those who bought their devices and not following through with that. The outcry makes sense. Printer ink is expensive. No matter how you get your ink, Alicia Garcia reveals some easy ways to save money in today's Consumer Reports.
When it was announced, it sounded like a great promotion from printer maker HP. Free ink for life, 15 pages worth a month. But then in fall 2020, HP changed its mind and said it would begin charging customers. After outcries on social media, HP reversed course and reinstated the program for existing customers.
And HP isn't the only one with a subscription program. Brother, Canon, and Epson each have their own versions too.
Most of these plans rely on a company remotely monitoring your ink levels, then sending you cartridges when you're low. No matter how you get it, Consumer Reports offers some clever tips to help you save money by saving ink.
Consider a refillable tank printer. The ink that comes with it should last you a long time, and replacement bottles are a fraction of the cost of cartridges.
Another option is switching to a black and white laser printer. They use toner instead of ink to produce speedy, high-quality text, and they're generally more cost-efficient than inkjets. Consumer Reports testers found this option from Brother has excellent text quality. But if you're not ready to buy a new printer, CR has some more creative ways to save.
A simple yet effective way to save ink is to change your font to Times New Roman instead of Arial. Our testers got 27% more mileage using it.
Also, consider trying third-party ink cartridges, although some printers can detect them and won't print. One last tip, keep your inkjet printers turned on.
Our testers found a noticeable reduction in ink use, even on some of the most ink-hogging models.
Leaving your printer on avoids the extra cleaning cycle your inkjet would do if turned off and on again. With your Consumer Report, I'm Alicia Garcia.
If you're worried about the cost or environmental impact of leaving your printer on, CR says inkjets consume very little power when they're not in use, so your ink savings should outweigh those concerns. And coming up after the break, what happens when you mix rodeo and hockey? Well, you get rodeo night with the Rapid City Rush. We'll hear more from the organizers after the break. Welcome back. What's better than hockey and rodeo? How about rodeo night with the Rapid City Rush? Joining me is Jared Reed from the Rush and Steve Sutton from Sutton Rodeo and Rodeo. Thank you both for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you
for having us.
Of course. So, of course, this weekend is rodeo night. For those folks who haven't made it out yet, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so this is going to be our inaugural event. So first time we're ever doing it. The state sport of South Dakota is rodeo. So we're taking, the Rush game, the Rush fans, and hockey, and combining it with rodeo, and bringing out, past champions and current champions who are, not just native here to the Black Hills, but the entire state of South Dakota. We're gonna have a big pregame party up in the Cowboy Bar. We're gonna honor them on the ice during the first intermission, wear specialty jerseys as well, and really just celebrate, the beginning of, the Black Hills Stock Show and Rodeo, as well as Rodeo Rapid City.
Yes, we can look forward to that the week after. And I know there's gonna be plenty of rodeo queens, cowboys, and cowgirls that we're honoring. What are you most looking forward to about rodeo night?
Well, just being part of it, Rodeo Rapid City gets to be part of that, so they get to buy that ticket that can go to the hockey game and to our rodeo event, which kicks off next week. And we have, Rodeo Rapid City's won the top rodeo of 2020, top indoor rodeo. And, and that's a big honor, and that first night when we have our bull riding, we've got the new world champion and the 5-time world champion going to be there, and we've invited 5 different stock contractors, and that PBR stock contractor here, Chad Berger's there with bulls. Oh,
you're not going to want to miss that. And I know there's a special package that fans can look forward to. Can you tell me more about that?
Yep, yeah, Steve hit on it there. So it's a $45 package. So you get a ticket to the Rapid City Rush game on Saturday night, as well as a ticket to one of the Rodeo Rapid City performances as well. And then another event that's going on throughout Stock Show and Rodeo, which is the Bronx for Breakfast, which is out at the fairgrounds as well.
Okay.
Yep.
And I know we touched on it earlier, but can you tell me a little bit about how the meet and greet works?
Yeah, so the meet and greet, it's a pregame party up in the Cowboy Bar. Cowboy Bar is going to open at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so a lot of fun, a lot of drinks, and all of our past champions, anything from Chad Furley and a Jeff Willert and Scott Montague to current guys like, who all is, I'm trying to remember who all is, Ty Mankey, right? Yep. Like there's a whole bunch of guys coming out. Jamie Hollett, who just went to the NFR, our rodeo queens, Miss Rodeo USA, Miss Rodeo South Dakota, they're all going to be there having fun. It's just for a chance for our fans to go and meet them and introduce them to, a whole different, sport world out there.
Sure. And for those folks who maybe have been to a Rush game but haven't been to rodeo night, why should they come out?
Hockey and rodeo are very, very similar. We both put on, it's all about a show and all about a production, right? And that's, we just want fans to come out for 2.5 hours, be entertained, have fun, and just make it one big party.
Perfect. And just to remind them, it's this Saturday. Any other details you would like them to know?
Saturday, 7:05. You can get your tickets at rapidcityrush.com. Make sure you come out, and then make sure you check out all the rodeos throughout the the upcoming weeks as well at Barnett.
Yes. Well, thank you both so much for being here, for making this happen. We're all really looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And coming up, after the break, the touching story of a Canadian boy with dreams of being an astronaut. He's meeting one of his idols, so stick with us.
1, 2, 3.
You got arrested?
Oh no.
Choked on that one.
The sound of justice. Hot Bench.
Weekdays at 11.
An 8-year-old Canadian boy with dreams of being an astronaut made a Zoom call to space last week. Organizers hope the boy's conversation with his hero on the International Space Station will inspire others to pursue careers in science. Greg Ross has the story in today's Fox Files.
Hi, Victor.
That was 8-year-old Yafet Yosef of Toronto talking to astronaut Victor Glover, who is currently on a mission aboard the International Space Station, which, according to Yafet, is pretty far away.
400 to 420 kilometers.
Wow, that's a long way away.
This Zoom call was organized by Glover's alma mater, California Polytechnic State University, and an organization called the National Society of Black Engineers. They wanted Yafet to be a part of it when they found out about his keen interest in space travel.
It just started like when he was in SK. They learn about the name of planets and stuff. And he never stopped learning since then.
But things really took off when he learned about a fellow Canadian who also went to outer space.
I learned about this astronaut named Chris Hadfield. I got one of his books. I started reading it, and it was so much fun. And that inspired me to be an astronaut.
His mother even got him his own NASA spacesuit.
Of course, the spacesuits, they just come only with the American flags, like this one. But I add the Canadian flag for him, because he's representing Canada.
And he was proudly wearing that suit when he asked this question to astronaut Victor Glover.
How does it feel to be on the first operational flight of the first spacecraft to use a reusable liquid fuel abort system? And what advice would you give to children like me?
Yafet, thank you for that question. Thank you for your voice. It is so inspiring to hear young people's voices up here. Being on that vehicle with its amazing abort system that helps to keep us safe and gives my family comfort that, hey, if something goes wrong, if it's not perfect, there's a way for us to get away. Just like when I flew F-18 jets, we had that ejection seat that could get us out of a sticky situation. It's truly been an honor and a privilege.
As far as advice for Yafet, he told him to be gritty, resilient, and tenacious in the face of challenges, to keep learning, and to be a good teammate. All good advice for a kid who already has his future mapped out.
My dream is to go to outer space and be the first African Canadian.
And he doesn't plan to go alone.
He always tells me, you're going to come with me to space.
And what do you say to that?
Of course, I'll say yes.
In fact, Yafet has already started planning their itinerary.
For my first space flight, I'm hoping to at least go to the ISS. For my second, I'm hoping to go to the moon. And for my third, I'm hoping to go to Mars.
And after meeting one of his role models, he has more confidence than ever that he will be able to accomplish all of those goals. Greg Ross, CBC News, Toronto.
Victor Gordon is currently serving as pilot and second in command on the Crew 1 SpaceX Crew Dragon named Resilience, which launched on November 15th. Be sure to join us for tomorrow's Fox Files when we head to North Carolina to meet a man who's refurbishing cars with a purpose. That's in Thursday's Fox Files right here on Good Morning Black Hills.
A milder day of weather in store for the Skyview forecast area. I think you'll enjoy that. Temperatures have already been warm in town. Rapid City this morning. It's already 45 degrees right now. Partly cloudy skies. This is our weather camera at Gunderson Palmer Law Firm looking east. High clouds overhead right now. Winds are west at 13 miles per hour. Those downslope westerly winds keeping temperatures up in town Rapid City this morning. Our temperatures will be in the 40s today, the high end of the 40s, and this is well above normal for this time of year. There was a wind advisory today starting at 8 o'clock this morning here at Harding and Perkins counties with windy windier conditions up into North Dakota. In the far northwestern part of the state, we will see sustained winds 25 to 35 miles per hour, gusting to near 50 miles per hour in Harding and Perkins County today. Not that strong a wind expected in Rapid City, but a little breezy as you head off toward the north of the area. Our forecast for Rapid City today will call for 48 degrees with northwest winds at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Some high clouds every now and then. Tomorrow, though, mostly sunny. However, despite more sunshine tomorrow, it is going to be a cooler day as some cold Canadian air starts to move in from Canada. Northerly breezes usher in that cool air. In fact, highs around the Black Hills tomorrow, just 32 to 42 degrees with northerly winds at 10 to 20 miles per hour. This band of high clouds will actually move off to the south and east of the area. It looks like we will see some clearing as we head into the late morning and afternoon hours. 37 in Lead, not too bad for January 21st. 39 at Mount Rushmore, 45 in downtown Rapid City. It's January 20th, excuse me. 31 in the Badlands right now. In Pine Ridge, 24. Custer at 28, 23 in Newcastle. Wind chill not all that significant this morning, but with a bit of a breeze, temperatures feeling like the 20s. So a little nip in the air this morning, but not bad at all, again, for this time of year. Storm system down south, lots of rain in Texas. That's actually welcome moisture there, and some welcome moisture here in the desert southwest. Some pretty good rains around Lake Havasu City and down toward the Yuma area in Arizona. Meanwhile, up here, we just have some high clouds, and we will see that today along with warmer temperatures. 49 in Phillip, 48 in Rapid City, 45 in Belle Fourche, 48 in Edgemont this afternoon. Winds northwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast. It will start to turn colder starting tomorrow, and then Friday and Saturday, cloudy and cold, and by Friday night into Saturday, some light snow, and there might be enough for some slippery travel on Saturday. Be careful there. And then temperatures staying chilly into next week. Our next chance of light snow will be on Tuesday. Now with the latest news headlines, let's send it over to Sunday Miller.
Thank you, Eric. Your time is now 7:33. Let's check out some headlines you may have missed overnight. Rapid City Police saw 12 homicides in 2020. That's double the previous year, and that wasn't the only crime to increase. In 2020, homicide numbers increased by 100%. Robberies saw about a 50% increase from 2019, and motor vehicle theft and burglaries increased by about 40% as well. Because of the pandemic, the department cannot necessarily pinpoint days or times that were hotspots, because 2020 was all around different than years past. Captain Scott Sitz is cautiously optimistic for 2021, but says so far the police department has stayed fairly busy. Moving on, 40-year-old Richard Hirth is accused of being hired by Jonathan Clientope to stab Clientope's ex-girlfriend, Jessica Rayfield, to death. Hirth's case has centered around his competency. In court yesterday, defense attorneys for Hirth said with the length of time the trial is expected to run, and to give the state a chance to hire experts to review the competency exams, both defense and the state are requesting a trial date in January of 2022. The judge blocked off the month of January, beginning on the 3rd, until the end of the month for the trial. And in national news, Senator Richard Burr is off the hook in a federal investigation into suspected insider trading. The North Carolina Republican says the Department of Justice told him the probe has been closed. And Burr's attorney says investigators decided not to take any further action. They were looking into Burr's stock transactions just before the coronavirus sent markets into a nosedive. Within insider trading laws, prosecutors would have to prove that he made the trades using confidential information he received as a senator. But Burr denies any wrongdoing, saying he used only public information to trade. And many South Dakotans may be wondering when they'll receive their COVID-19 vaccine. The vaccine is sent to medical facilities by the South Dakota Department of Health. Monument Health here in Rapid City is currently administering both the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines, and they're receiving doses weekly. As of Tuesday, 5,416 people have received the vaccine in Pennington County. And as distribution continues, the state is currently making its way through Phase 1D.
The rest of 1D includes people ages 65 and older. It includes teachers, it includes funeral service workers, and so that's a very large group in the state of South Dakota. It contains about 265,000 people. And so the group that we're breaking off here is the beginning, and then decisions will be made by the health department as to what people are included next.
As an assisted living and senior living community, some Echo Ridge residents in Rapid City received their first dose in December. And as of yesterday, almost all the residents are vaccinated. Getting the shot is something residents did, but not just for themselves.
Mostly because I think it's wise to stop it.
and the more people that get it, and with another one on its way, we've got to be extra careful.
Petersen says the state estimates vaccine distribution will be in the 1D phase through March. Well, we have a link to the various phases on our website. As the coronavirus vaccine becomes available to more Americans, a new study is suggesting your mental and physical health can affect how your body reacts to the vaccine. Mandy Gaither explains in today's Health Minute.
If you're still waiting your turn to get the COVID-19 vaccine, you have time to boost your body's response to it, according to recent research.
Ironically, the pandemic itself is fueling a lot of these risk factors for a poor vaccine response.
Annalise Madison, an Ohio State University researcher, is first author of a paper accepted for publication in the journal Perspectives on Psychological Science. The research focused on different vaccines over the past 30 years. It found self-care is key to vaccine efficacy.
These risk factors, including stress, depression, loneliness, poor health behaviors, can impact the side effects to the vaccine. They can impact the amount of time it takes to develop immunity to COVID-19.
Madison says poor mental and physical health may also shorten the time in which the vaccine works, but she says focusing on things like getting good sleep or even exercising within 24 hours of getting a COVID shot can boost its response.
I think it's a helpful and hopeful message that in this time when there's so much outside of our control, that we can exert some control over our mental and physical health.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Still ahead on this Wednesday morning, we take a look at an award-winning restaurant and the generations of hard work that goes into their food.
Can you guess which two spices come from the same plants? Nutmeg and mace. Now they come from a fruit on a tree, and of course nutmeg is the seed, and the coating of the seed is where the spice mace comes from. We talk about nutmeg a lot. Here is mace. See that nice orange color? Just has a really warm and spicy and just beautiful aroma and flavor in much of your cuisine. And in fact, many dishes that call for nutmeg could also call for mace as well, quite interchangeable. Nutmeg, of course, used in holiday baking and many other savory dishes. Mace not called for as much, but give it a try. Look up some recipes. Mace, well, you can find it as easily as nutmeg, not used as much as it should be in several recipes. You'll just love the aromas and flavors that it will create for you.
Welcome back. What goes into making delicious food? Is it special ingredients, an expert in the kitchen? For one local Rapid City business, it's hard work fueled by the family. We'll introduce you to the Colonial House in today's Black Hills Back Story.
There's a sound in a restaurant. It's this slow, soft rumble throughout the place, and you know things are going right.
40 years of business is a milestone for any enterprise, but here at the Colonial House, 3 generations of restaurateurs has amounted to the Colonial House becoming the Restaurant of the Year for the South Dakota retailers. A job that owner Kevin Beshara considers an honor.
A lifelong ambition? Well, a lifelong commitment? Definitely, yes. It was one of those things I kind of fell into. Mom and Dad said when they bought the place, they said, what are you going to do for the next few years? I said, I got nothing in mind. So here I am 40 years later, still doing the same thing, but love every day of it, love every minute.
Kevin and his wife Vicki are second-generation restaurateurs. They've already put a third generation, their son Mark, to work at the restaurant with hopes of eventual succession. But when Kevin reflects on years past, he likes to pay homage to the founders of Colonial House, his father and mother.
Well, I looked at him the other day and I said, well, congratulations, old man, we did it. But 40 years ago, I don't know. You know, people always say, would you go back and change anything? Would you have done anything differently? No. The volume of mistakes we made were here, and of course, hopefully, our achievements surpass that. And I think our business reflects that, I hope.
Whether you're a fan of the chicken fried steak or the beloved caramel rolls, you're guaranteed to have generations of service in every bite.
We put a lot of heart and soul into what we do. Labor of love, definitely. We have a passion for what we do. It then relays to our staff, which then relays to the guest. So it shows that we care, and we honestly do care.
For KEVN Black Hills Fox News, I'm Blake Joseph.
Thanks, Blake, and stick with us this morning. Your Hollywood Minute is after the break.
Modern Family, nightly.
Weeknights at 12:30.
Welcome back. You're going to have to see this to believe it. A Nebraska family is safe after their house burned down over the weekend. They say that may not have been the case had it not been for their 3 Pomeranians. Abbie Petersen has the story.
Their beds and stuff are buried under that stuff.
Lady, Taz, and Coco. Tonight, they're more than just the Kingery's pets. They're heroes.
They absolutely saved our lives.
On Saturday night, the Kingery family was in their pajamas getting ready for bed when their 3 dogs would not stop barking. So their teenage son looked out of a window, saw smoke, and knew something was on fire.
The flames.
It wasn't until they went outside that they realized it was their house.
My son and my daughter and I were all out at our neighbors standing and watching our house burn down.
Instead of going out of the doggy door, the dogs hid. Luckily, LFR rescued them all and even had to revive one.
They didn't discount that they were animals. They didn't stop searching for them.
No one smelled smoke and alarms had not yet gone off. And if it wasn't for the dogs, there's no telling what would have happened.
The part of the house that was engulfed in flames was the part that had our vehicles and full tanks of gas, and the house would have gone up.
She tells me that her daughter Scarlett was here in her room minutes after the roof caught fire. Now all that's left is wet insulation and fire debris all over. Tonight, the family's in a hotel while the dogs are getting treatment at a local animal hospital.
Them being okay is making it okay that we're okay.
Makes you thankful for everything you have. Now for the latest in Hollywood, the immigration debate takes center stage in a timely new film. David Daniels shares a preview for No Man's Land.
My dad says we don't live in America. We live in Texas.
Specifically, No Man's Land, between the Rio Grande River and the Mexican border, where some immigrants cross illegally on the Greer family ranch. The trouble is just beginning for Jackson Greer, played by screenwriter and star Jake Allen. Jackson flees into Mexico, where he's the stranger in a strange land.
I traveled a lot growing up, so I certainly wanted to tell a reverse immigration story and show life on the other side from a different point of view.
Something Allen saw affected how he played a key scene.
That morning, a photo had come out of a daughter and her father who had tried to cross the border, and it was kind of a famous picture at the time of them, kind of his arm around his daughter, and they had drowned in the river.
Co-star Frank Grillo says everyone in No Man's Land is searching for the same thing.
Redemption, I think, is the heart and soul of the film. I mean, that's for all of us, for every character and their own journey.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
We're halfway through the week, folks, but Eric Gardner is going to give us a preview of how the rest of the week will shape up in his Skyview weather forecast. But first, a word from Mr. Food.
Some say chicken soup cures whatever ails you, and it just might. Everything from the sniffles to a hungry belly. When it comes to foods that we crave, nothing is as welcoming as a big bowl of soup. And when that soup is chicken soup, all the better. So let me share with you a recipe that's a warm-you-up favorite, as well as a way to help you get rid of the winter blues. We start by placing a whole chicken that's been cut into quarters into a large soup pot, along with some cut-up carrots, celery, and onions. Then we add some water. Yes, this is going to make a big pot of soup. But don't worry, because it freezes great. For the part that gives this all its flavor, we add some salt, pepper, and a couple of spoonfuls of chicken base. And if you're not familiar with chicken base, It's a super rich take on bouillon that is, let's say, spoonable. And you can find this in the soup aisle. After this comes to a boil, we'll turn it down and let it simmer until the chicken is fall apart tender. After we remove the bones from the chicken, we chunk it up and back into the soup it goes, along with some wild rice. That's all there is to it. What we end up with is a big pot of soup that is packed with so much goodness, it's practically a meal by itself. To get this easy recipe, all you have to do is go to our website and look for chicken and wild rice soup. I know you'll be glad you did.
And we do have some nice weather in the forecast for today. Warmer than average temperatures expected across the Skyview forecast area. This is our weather camera at Gunderson Palmer Law Firm. There's some high clouds overhead this morning, but boy, it's pretty warm already in downtown Rapid City, 45 degrees with a westerly wind at 13 miles per hour. So we're already warmer right now than we've been for several days, actually. Temperatures will be in the 40s throughout the day today in town Rapid City. A little bit windy here on the northern plains. You folks in Harding and Perkins counties, a wind advisory in effect starting at 8 o'clock this morning and going until 4 o'clock this afternoon. In these areas, then up into North Dakota, we are going to see some wind gusts to near 50 miles per hour, but not around Rapid City. Around Rapid City today, generally 15 to 25 mile per hour winds are in the forecast. We will see some high clouds. It won't be a perfectly clear day today, but 48 at least this afternoon. We're in the mid 40s now in town Rapid City. Those temperatures may hold steady or drop slightly and then come back up during the early afternoon hours. Tomorrow is going to be a mostly sunny day, but it will be noticeably cooler as some Canadian air starts to move in from Canada. So a little cooler tomorrow, some northerly breezes bringing in the cool air. Around the Black Hills on Thursday, highs from 32 to 42 degrees, mostly sunny skies with northerly winds at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Band of high clouds moving across our area this morning. This cloudiness is moving off to the southeast. We will see probably more sunshine as we head into the afternoon hours. And these temperatures, remember, it is the 20th of January, could certainly be and should be a lot colder than this time of day. 45 in downtown Rapid City, 39 at Mount Rushmore, 34 at Wing Cave National Park, 28 in Custer, 21 in Newcastle, 32 in Gillette. Not much of a wind chill factor to consider today because the temperatures really aren't all that bad, but it does feel a little cooler than it actually is, so some jackets are certainly needed. Excuse me, storm system down in the southwest causing rain in Arizona. They need that. Rain in Texas as well, a little snow in the northeast. And as this front moves across the Washington, D.C. area, it could be a few flurries and some blustery conditions for the inauguration this afternoon. Partly cloudy and milder today. Temperatures mostly in the 40s across the Skyview forecast area. Some areas near 50 degrees. These temperatures certainly not a record, but well above normal for this time of year. Winds will be northwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour. But we do have some changes in our extended forecast. Mild today with a high of 48. Thursday 39, Friday only 30, starting to cloud up. It looks like some snow showers as we head into Saturday with a high of 30, and there might be enough snow on Saturday for some slippery travel, and the next chance of snow about Tuesday of next week. So the last week of January will certainly be colder, but you know, it is winter.
It is winter. It's about time it starts to show up, right?
Absolutely.
And today is a big day for our nation. We're getting ready to welcome the 46th president to our democracy. With the inauguration happening in Washington, D.C., a Missouri woman is reminding people to be kind, and she's doing it one painted rock at a time. So here's that story.
The right message seems to find the right person when they need it.
Karen Hoke hopes people will pass by her home in Lee Summit on Wednesday, and just remember,
kindness is something that everybody could spread.
She says with Wednesday's inauguration, she hopes there won't be any violence.
The world we live in right now feels very hot, and this is a cooling mechanism.
Karen started her Kindness Rock Garden in 2017 after the passing of her daughter, Alyssa. Since, it's become a neighborhood spot for expression and release.
It's very therapeutic to spend the time. I often will paint the things I need to hear.
Just a rock with an anonymous message to hopefully make people think about others.
On all days, but especially on days like tomorrow, I would hope they just take a pause and they realize that there are more things that bring us together than separate us.
Karen says it's a pretty simple idea. Just paint a rock, leave a rock, or take a rock.
I've been thinking about what I'm going to paint tonight when I sit down.
Something she always thinks about.
And it's going to be tolerance, it's going to be peace.
Because she says
we have the ability to create a world that's just kinder to each other. We don't have to agree, and violence is never acceptable.
And Karen has more information on her Kindness Rock Garden. It's on her Facebook for her daughter Alyssa's wishes. So Eric, a very good reminder there that she was doing.
I think so. It's a great project, and we got to find some light at the end of the tunnel, basically.
We do, and that's
every single day.
A creative way to do it. Absolutely.
That's right. And it looks like we're going to be seeing some nice weather today. Temperatures in the 40s this afternoon.
Speaking my language, Eric.
I know you like
that.
We do have to watch out for the weekend, though, some snow showers.
Yes, and those slippery roads you mentioned. Well, thanks so much for joining us on your Wednesday morning. And as always, keep it artsy, Black Hills.
We'll see you tomorrow.